Welcome back, Mr. Puvaya.
Thank you.
Mr. Puvaya, is it true that you wanted to become a doctor, a neurosurgeon to be specific, and that your father brainwashed you into taking up law?
I think I should blame Google for this information being available to you. But yes, that's right. I've been a student of science for a good part of my life, and wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I'd even decided the institution in which I will study, and I dreamt of actually performing neurosurgery. Yes, I was brainwashed to getting into law, courtesy at that point of time Dr. Madhav Menon, who was heading the National Law School. But I must say that I've not had a single day of regret. I'm rather glad that I got into an institution such as the National Law School in Bangalore, and then to the LSE. And I do what I do for a living today, because law today is not just a vocation for me to earn my bread and lead a life. Law has actually become an opportunity for me to do whatever little I can in my own life to the people who are around me. And law really, as Roscoe Pound said, has become an instrument of social change today. I think today Roscoe Pound is more relevant than when he actually said it. Raja Ram Mohan Roy used law as an instrument of social change when it came to sati. He actually forced it through British law. And today it's even more relevant. If you look, and law does not mean just legislative enactments. Law means judicial pronouncement. Law means decisions of the Superior Court. We have seen how the decisions of the Supreme Court of India have actually brought in change within the political system in our country, change within the administrative system in our country. And when law actually is impacting society so much, what else should you be rather than a lawyer? I think I'm glad that I'm a lawyer in this time frame, and I've had the opportunity to do whatever.
Your father was not wrong. Mr. Puvaya, you may be a successful lawyer now. Your law firm is doing very well. But sometimes do you regret not becoming a doctor?
No, actually, never. The regret is not that I'm not a doctor, but the regret is possibly our system could have proceeded a little faster. I think we have a fantastic judiciary when we compare ourselves to many other parts of the world. When we look at developed jurisdictions, I think from a jurisprudential perspective, India is as developed as every other jurisdiction. I don't think you can call India as a developing country when it comes to legal jurisprudence. We are really, really developed. But the problem is, I think the number of courts in this country are so low. The judge to population ratio is so high that our courts are really burdened. Personally, I can being a lawyer and spending a lot of my time in courts, I think an average judge in this country is so heavily overworked that there is little that judge can do in terms of hastening the process. If only our judicial process was a little faster, I think a great amount of social change would have occurred even faster. People really violate traffic rules because they know that even if they are caught, they could get away with a small fine, or if the judicial process were to take long, it will take 4 years before any particular order will come. If I knew that my justice will be instant, if I knew that yes, in the next 2 months I will have to face the consequence of my actions, I would really behave myself. I think India really, we need a stick somewhere in the back of our, in the medulla oblongata to say that yes, there is this fear of punishment. If that could be done, I think it will make a sea change. That's a bit of a regret that our judicial system is a little slow. But otherwise, I think the best part of our judicial system is that it is equipped to deal with the problems of today. Our judicial system is very quick to learn with technology. I'm a technology lawyer, and I see when it comes to technology, the decisions which Indian courts are giving are as fast or even faster than the European Court of Justice, and certainly better than the decisions which are coming in the West, because Indian judges have a varied amount of information. They are actually generalists who have looked at the law from a 360-degree perspective, and they are very quick to learn the technology issues. So that, I think, is a benefit. So the answer is, I have no regrets not being a doctor.
That's nice. Mr. Puvaya, the next question follows. Will you do to your children what your father did to you? I mean the brainwashing?
No. I believe as a lawyer, one of the things I think these institutions really inculcated in me is the attitude to speak up and live up by your convictions. The world may think you are wrong, but if you believe you are right, stand up and say so. Because a strong sense of right and wrong is very important for every individual, and that's, I think, the Indian philosophy. I wouldn't say Hindu philosophy. That, I think, is the ethos of India, to have a right sense of a sense of right and wrong, and very strong at it. And if you have that, and I think you have to agree that our younger generation need the opportunity to explore and be what they want to be. We may or may not agree with them, but I think we should stand up and give them the right to express that. So I would never, I think, do to my children in any form, orient them to, take to law or whatever. But the key is, I have 2 girls. And I've always maintained this, that India will improve if we actually can bring a true sense of equality between the boys and girls. Half of my country is female, literally, almost. But unfortunately, half of that country is really, put down and oppressed. Therefore, it is actually India is working with one hand, the other hand is not used. The key is to make the girl child in this country bold, make sure that the girl child gets equal opportunity as much or even more than the boy if you can. The Constitution of India says there must be protective discrimination in favor of the girl child, protective discrimination in favor of females. Forget protective discrimination and giving them a better pedestal. I think, owe it to our girl children that we give them an equal pedestal at least. And the minute you give that, you know it, that they will shine, they will outshine the boys, and they will contribute to this country much more than the boy would. That, our psychological, baggage which we have to say that it is actually the boys who can take this country forward should change. That, I think will take some time, but it's a definite process.
Nice. Mr. Bhuya, I believe your dream is to be the best in the country. Compete with yourself. And your aim is the post of Chief Justice or President.
To have ambitions, I think, is the only way a person will actually go forward. Ambitions really not are limited to what you want to be in the future, but ambitions are also about collectively growing, and you therefore identify yourself and join a core group of people who are also ambitious. My ambition is really to be the best, and that I think comes from an ethos to saying that if you're a cobbler, be the best cobbler in town. So whatever you are, you need to make sure that you set a benchmark for yourself. In our country today, what is lacking is benchmarking. If you look at our own profession, in the legal profession, we don't really, if we have to benchmark ourselves to what is happening in this country, then we will be in a status quo. Therefore, the benchmarking should happen to what is happening in the best jurisdiction in the country. If a US law firm can do what it will, why can't an Indian law firm do? I think that's the ideology which is setting in the profession, and today there are multitude of law firms in this country servicing a whole host of clients in the West. Second, technology today has enabled you to actually service the world. If you come to legal process outsourcing, some of the best legal process outsourcing companies in the world are Indian origin companies. Over the last 3 years, the Black Book of Outsourcing Award, the Chambers and Partners Award, the Asia Legal Award for outsourcing companies all went to Indian companies. And therefore, the key is to make sure that you operate from a global perspective, but at the same time be sensitive to your local issues. I don't think a lawyer would do well if he is just in the process of saying, I am a corporate lawyer and I will continue making my money and buy my Mercedes-Benz and the Audis and the Lamborghinis, but not really realizing that you can use your legal skill sets also to usher in change in your local community. If we can marry both expectations and work hard at it, I think the sky is the limit. Yes, I aspire to be something someday, and I hope the elders, my God and my peers will help me with it.
I wish it comes true. And Mr. Bhuya, what is your advice to youth who wish to emulate you, want to become as highly successful as you are?
Within the profession, I think there is a myth to say that if you belong to a legal family, only then would you succeed in the profession. I think gone are those days when the legal profession was the domain of certain families. It actually, moved by succession or by survivorship within the family to, 4 or 5 generations. The legal profession today in the country throws up an opportunity like it has never before. The opportunity is global. The quality of education in this country is also of global standards. And now is the time actually to enter the profession, be it on a corporate perspective, be it on a litigation perspective, be it on a social perspective. The only advice I could give to the younger generation is, one, so long as you are willing to work hard and orient yourself to a particular process and stick to that process, success is inevitable. The problem with India is that we are not, as children, taught to orient ourselves to a particular goal. We are taught to work very hard. I think an average Indian child works so much harder than a child in the West. But we have no vision. If you ask a child, and whenever I interact with high schools, I do a lot of interaction with high schools and pre-university colleges, speaking to them on what they should do when they go up to graduate studies. Very few of them actually have a vision to say this is where I should be. The vision is really oriented to say, my uncle was a doctor, therefore I want to become a doctor. Or they say that you have to be in engineering, everybody should be in medicine or engineering, therefore I should. If that vision can be developed and you want to do something, you stick to it despite what the society says and work hard at it, success is inevitable. And particularly in our profession, success is inevitable. Before they said the sky is the limit, today I will tell you that universe is the limit. You know, beyond the skies, air and space law also is an issue which is today available.
Many thanks, Mr. Puvaya. It was a delight talking to you. I am sure our listeners would have been inspired by your talk. Please keep helping the Namma Bengaluru Foundation in its efforts to make Bangalore a better city to live in. Thanks once again.
Thank you. And for me, it's an opportunity that Namma Bengaluru Foundation has put forward. In fact, I think they are helping me, do my bit for the city. So thank you for having me in the foundation, and thank you for speaking to me today. Thank you.
Thank you.